Yo, what's going on YouTube? Hope everyone is doing well. And if you've been watching videos on the channel over the last week or two, there's been a lot of 2v2 World Cup. So, a lot of people like the 2v2 World Cup. I appreciate that. However, at the same time, this channel is not just about that. And happy to be here and showing you a very, very unique video. In fact, it's a strategy that's as old as time. The Wolf Rush. I think I had some uploads on it way back in the day. When my channel first started off, we had the woo woo woo, which I'll talk a bit more about later. But yeah, it's really unique little strategy. And in this game, both players do it in a way that I've never quite seen before. So yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. In the blue, we have MBL, one of the best players in the world, also participating in that 2v2 World Cup, playing as the Goths. And then we have Velez, also one of the best players in the world. I rate him in my top 10 currently, and he's ranked top 10, at least in 1v1s, from Finland, and he's playing as the Slavs. Now, Goths are in a tricky spot as far as balance goes. Their spam is unbelievable. How cheap their infantry is unbelievable later on in games. However, Slavs, they have free supplies, and supplies does give you a discount on infantry, and Slavs have some of the fastest farmers in the game, so just Slavs overall, with all the siege options they have, that also being cheaper, and the infantry, they should just be better than the Goths. Now, what's fun is, this is not the first time we'll see MBL playing as the Goths against Slavs in a disadvantage. I'm going to, if I remember, have a video in the description, and it's a completely different game, completely different situation. We broke it down back before the DE version of this game came out. But yeah, it just came to mind, actually, as I was casting this, how MBL is trying to tackle the downsides, I guess, of having Goths against Slavs. The map is Goldrush, also a classic map. There's 7 tiles of gold close to the player town centers. And you can see 4 tiles here, 3 tiles here, and you can see that on the other side as well. And the big thing to remember, if you have been watching Age for the last year or so, is that the DE version is very different from the Hidden Cup version. In the Hidden Cup version, after hearing from players that the wolves being in the middle would mean that feudal age forwarding and feudal age military is not really possible, we removed the crazy amounts of wolves in the middle. And instead what we did was we moved those wolves around to the rings, basically. So you could run to the enemy without losing everything. But here, yeah, you have 8 wolves in the middle, and I think players are going to be well aware of that. And a few other ones around too. And this is freaking hilarious, okay? Velez is making a barracks. This is a pre-mill drush. And Velez is thinking, let's scout the wolves. He's already done so. Let's scout the enemy. He's already done so. Then you have MBL. MBL making a barracks. MBL's thinking the exact same thing. And pretty much like I said, from a balance perspective, map-wise, it does make the map a little bit one-dimensional to have the wolves in the middle. And I'll break down why, actually, because think about it. Like, timing's so important in Age. Let's say someone goes for Drush Fast Castle. So they make the militia, and they try and wall up and go Fast Castle. You need to arrive at their base within a certain period of time to do damage, right? So if you have to scout the wolves and then go around the wolves, that could take an extra minute, and that could end the game at the high level. So here comes Velez with just the 1 militia rush. Normally it's 3. And MBL is like, wait a second. I don't want these wolves to come to my base. Shoo fly, don't bother me. So MBL's decision is to block the militia off so the wolves kill the militia. And there he goes, even using the scout here. This militia's almost dead. This poor guy, he just wanted a job, and this is the job he was given. Wolves do not automatically target scouts, so the scouts are more than fine for whatever reason, just Age of Empires things. And now MBL has his own militia, and MBL's like, no, these are going to you. The scouts are fighting. MBL's scout is weaker. He has to run away. But this is hilarious. It's like playing hot potato with wolves. It's hot wolf. It's hot woo woo woo. I don't know exactly. And now Velez says, you know what, MBL, that was a great idea. So let me kill your militia now. And I don't know if this is some type of weird wolf relay race. Maybe this will be in the Olympics when the Olympics are back. But now you have 6 wolves chasing MBL's militia. Actually, 1 wolf is chasing this militia, but now Velez says, all right, I'm going to send them back to you. Now, at what point is this going to stop? Like, when I first saw this, I was thinking that this would go back and forth once, but this could continue all of Dark Age, and Dark Age is a pretty long freaking age. So, Velez, still with the higher HP scout, will now force an MBL scout away. So that does make it awkward for MBL to block. And so MBL's militia comes out. Imagine being sent to work. Like, hey, all you have to do is attack the enemy, and then there's also wolves attacking the enemy, and those wolves, they're going to attack you after the fact, but don't worry, we really appreciate you. The wolves are chasing Velez. MBL has one militia here, and don't worry too much about the economies. They're pretty even right now, and MBL's, he's on the defensive mode now. He needs to somehow get these wolves back to Velez's base. He's blocking away and blocks it. Now, I don't actually know why this is the case. I know there's got to be some reason for it. But occasionally, wildlife just won't react as they should. And here, the wolves are sitting here, and MBL's militia's like, hello, my master told me that you would attack. This was not as I had planned. So MBL's really terrified. Like, these militia could keep coming for Velez, and if it aggroes his militia, he could send it to my villagers. So MBL's decision is to attack every single wolf. And at this point, MBL's doing this just to get the wolves away from him. He knows that he's not going to be able to, he won't have the HP to make it to Velez's base. But my goodness, it's like the woo 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 rush. Hilarious stuff. The wolves still are hungry. Some of them are damaged. There is one wolf here, and MBL even making another militia. But my word, what a really funny way to start this game. And when I say I've genuinely never seen this before, I mean it. Like, I've seen wolf rushes before. I've never seen the multi-wolf rush. So back to the game, and this, like, fortunately for us, turned into quite an entertaining game. Like, wouldn't it suck if this game ended up being a dud afterwards? No, this is a quality game. And MBL is going to arrive in Feudal Age first. It says he has one less villager. But he also clicked up the Feudal Age a little bit faster, so that does contribute to that. I also like how MBL, he didn't research Loom. I don't know if I like that or hate that, actually, because Goth's researched Loom instantly now. But he's going with a blacksmith, and he's going with a market, and he'll be going for Fast Castle. MBL's scout is scouting what Velez is up to. No surprise to see Velez is walled. What's Velez up to? Blacksmith, market, Fast Castle. And so I said at the start of the game, things to possibly expect from this matchup. Slavs with the fastest farmers in the game, or close to that, right? You've got, they've got to be the fastest farmers in the game at this point. So fastest farmers in the game. They get supplies for free. And now it's my turn. I know there's other YouTubers out there that do this, but it's my turn to wow you with a little bit of math, guys. Or wait, we might not be able. I wouldn't say wow. Don't get your hopes up, math whizzes, because this is really not going to wow anyone. Hold on, I'm really preoccupied with following the wolf, because Velez has now sent a spearman out, which he couldn't do in Dark Age. He sees the wolves. MBL's like, oh no, not again. Okay, here are the wolves. I'll get to the math, I promise. It won't wow you. I can also promise you that. You can see both players on the way to Castle Age, both players with the same vill count, both players making infantry. So this is going to become an infantry war, which is very rare for high-level Age of Empires. As working on getting through here, MBL distracting the spearman, and now is like, okay, it's my turn again, and I'll send these wolves back over to your base. This is so funny. This is so funny. I love this. And at this point, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? I don't know. I mean, the pressure in the middle is going to be real from both of these two. There's now 5 wolves chasing the spearman. We'll see if MBL can make it there. But let me get to my math real quick, as both players are adding barracks to go into infantry. So the supplies technology is 150 food, 100 gold. Slavs do not have to research that, so there's a savings there, right? And if you have supplies for free, then your infantry is minus 15 food. So for a man-at-arm, instead of it being 60 food, 20 gold, like it would be for non-supplies infantry, it's 45 food and 20 gold, okay? Now, Goths And since this is a wreck, it should pause here for me. Goths, their bonus is staggered. So their infantry is minus 20% in Dark Age, minus 25% in Feudal, minus 30 in Castle. So let's just talk about Castle for a second. And it comes out to 42-14, okay? So 42-14 versus 45-20. There's not that big of a difference there. Of course, it does cost less resources, or fewer resources, excuse me, to play it like MBL is playing it. However, he also has generic farms. So you have the fastest farmers in the game. It feels like, with there being such a small difference, and the wolves are back, with the food cost, that Slavs should be better off here. So, just things to think about. Goths are strong, but that's why Slavs are able to stay competitive with them. And the wolves, sadly, they were not able to get many kills, and sadly, they do go down. We have 5 men-at-arms here for Velez. We have 6 for MBL. They are now long swords for Velez, and he does have armor, and you look at MBL. Perhaps no surprise, he can't afford longsword yet. He also does not have as many farms, but he does not have armor, he doesn't have longsword yet, so MBL sees this and says, okay, I need to back away. Look at how Velez is playing this. Velez even adding a siege workshop, another thing that Slavs are incredibly good at. Cheap siege. So that's another thing that you can do, is mix in the siege against infantry from Goths. Now, I think with Goths, it really comes down to the spam, particularly in the Imperial Age, right? Another thing that Slavs get is Drazina. And Drazina is an epic tech that does help infantry. And we'll talk about that if we get there. The point is MBL is fighting at a disadvantage, and I always like that when I'm casting, right? You want the slightly better player to have a slight disadvantage. See how it goes. 10 men-at-arms, or longswords, excuse me. 11, and also armor now versus 11 with armor. There's a scout out there for both, and there's a monk now here for MBL, and he barely touched that scout, but scout does go down, which is a pretty big deal, actually, because if the scout was there, that scout could kill the monk. MBL feeling confident enough to push away. Now, there's a lot of elevation on Goldrush, and you do a lot of damage when fighting on top of the hills, so players will want to use the hill. Velez will patrol in with the hill. MBL sees the Scorpion. Actually, this is really intelligent fighting from MBL. He has the hill advantage there. And so MBL takes this fight, and yes, the Scorpion's there, but that is a much better engagement for the Norwegian. And Scorpions, while they are cheaper, they're still not the cheapest unit, especially after investing into the Siege Workshop, so he takes one of those out. And I think MBL will be very happy with this situation. Taking out 2 Scorpions, as well as that many Longswords, will leave him feeling good. Now, notice, this is really going to be the theme of the game. Pay attention to the Vil counts here. Gone are the days of the Hidden Cup 3 overlay. I'm really hoping the Capture Age team can bring that back for us. But yeah, like, the Vil count is going to be fun to focus on, because Velez right now, he's adding a second town center, and he already has a Vil lead. I've noticed with MBL's queue, no Vils queued, right? But he has 3 barracks queued with longsword. So he's going with more of an all-in approach here. And it is paying off with the numbers. It has less to do with the discount and the cost of the units. Of course, it does pay off a little bit, but it also has a lot more to do with the fact that Velez just is prioritizing eco. Now, if you're prioritizing an all-in situation, if you're not making villagers as frequently, you need to make that damage pay off. And this is one of the best maps for this type of crazy aggression, because there's limited gold. Longswords, they don't cost the most gold in the world, but still, they do cost gold. Les on 2 town centers, 17 on food. MBL 1 TC, 18 on food, and he's adding the second town center now. Did he sell stone? He must have sold 100 stone, because it wouldn't make sense for him to not have it if he did not do that. 22 military for MBL, 63 pop, and 60 pop for Velez. Velez actually needing to rebuild some houses. MBL's like, how do you like it? MBL is known for a lot of things, but he's also known for forgetting to build houses. So, actually, I say that. Let's see if he gets pop cap to 70. He's spamming units out of multiple barracks. Let's see, is he making... Oh, well, he's got the TC. All right, we'll see about 75. 4 Scorpions. Now, this is a different situation. 4 Scorpions should be much stronger with the pass-through damage. MBL's thinking, yeah, you know what? I have to take the engagement now before this gets worse for me. One way to prevent yourself from getting pop-capped is to take fights and lose military. MBL takes this fight, and based on the KD, I don't know. I feel like that's not the worst fight ever for Velez, because afterwards he has so many longswords remaining. 13 military versus MBL 7. MBL did commit a lot there versus the Scorpions. Sorry about that. Everything's fine. You don't need to worry about me in this tough time. I just needed to quickly blow my nose. Monastery for Velez. I really like the idea of adding monks for healing and converting. MBL attempted to get a few conversions. MBL down to 57 population. 44 villagers for MBL. He is going to be on 4 barracks. That's fascinating. Now, over here, you've got 2 town centers and maybe even a 3rd soon for Velez if he wants to take the middle. Velez feeling good. You know, after that fight, he took a big military lead. He knows he's Slavs. He has reason to be confident. And unfortunately for MBL, it just does not feel like it's going to be all that easy. This is so much of a task for him to be able to combat Slavs. I mean, he wasn't able to get a real foothold on the middle. Here's a fight. Now, this is as MBL's about to get Iron Casting. And Iron Casting will give him extra attack. Plus, he got some converts. But still, you're looking at 13 against, well, 9. With more on the way for MBL. Who's at 46 villagers. No control of the middle. And does not have those farms. Now, he does have 2 relics. And that's actually the 3rd relic on the way in. So that will give him some gold. And let's get an update on the gold situation for Velez. Velez mining away. Still has plenty for now. They may be halfway through that gold. Another siege workshop. Now, that's interesting. I think MBL might need to consider adding in some Mangonels soon. That or your own Scorpions. I don't know. But MBL does... Wait a second. He must have skipped that attack upgrade. He canceled that one. He has full armor. Oh, no, never mind. Excuse me. I will clarify that in just a moment. I realized what I got wrong there. And MBL just diving in. Like, who cares about the longswords? Let's just take out the Scorpions before this gets out of hand. And no villagers queued up for MBL. He takes out the Scorpions, but so many longswords have gone down there. And there's that 3rd town center for Velez. It really does not feel like MBL can break this, unfortunately. Yeah, what happened was I clicked a unit that MBL had converted. That's why I was confused. So he does not have the full armor. He just has the feudal age armor, but he does have the feudal and castle age attack. Actually, a lot of... normally, you're going to see melee units prioritize armor, so they can arrive to the fights against ranged units. But melee v melee fights, it is completely fine to get the attack upgrades first. Normally, knights, you see armor, right? Because you're raiding underneath town centers. But in this instance, as MBL's getting the armor anyways, getting the attack first is completely fine. Man, this is like the fight of young T90's dreams. Full longswordsmen, Scorpions, monks. You rarely see this, man. And MBL microing as best as he can in an awkward situation. Now, he is really close to his barracks. He has a lot queued up. How many Scorpions has Velez lost in this game? Velez only producing out of 3 barracks. That fight's looking pretty good. 76 villagers for Velez, 52 for MBL. Velez will back away. And okay, perhaps this is getting a little bit dangerous, right? Because MBL being Goths at that slight discount, and MBL having so many barracks should be able to produce. MBL sitting on 5. Velez now going to, looks like 4. But the number's pretty darn close. MBL with that slightly. Conversions can help. MBL also has full attack. Something that Velez also has. Or did I make the same mistake? No, he does have it. 22 military for MBL. 13 for Velez. MBL getting gold from those relics. Velez still getting gold in the middle. And we're really going to have a conversation on Scorpions after this. I think the Scorpions are a good move. Don't get me wrong. But it is interesting just how many Velez has been able to make. If you think about it, He's spending a lot more gold than MBL is currently. Like, MBL's monks have been able to get so many conversions. He hasn't needed to make more of them. Has the relic gold income paying off for him. There's an outpost in the middle for Velez. He just wants to know if MBL is thinking of going out there. And again, a lot of the discounted but still expensive siege units going down for Velez. And MBL was a full 30 villagers behind. 22 military, that is a common number apparently. Again, 17. MBL engaging on the hill. And in the back of MBL's mind, he knows Slav should be better long term. I've tried my best, you know. Velez seems to be about 5 to 10 military units behind. And there's no real creation speed bonus for MBL. It's just that MBL's producing out of so many more barracks. He's got 7, and it was 4 last I checked for Velez. He does have the wood. Maybe making a few more barracks would be wise. But then again, he has the middle right now. He's on stone. He's probably thinking of castling the middle. So it's it feels like this is a balance that many high-level players are completely fine with. You know what's fascinating? Just to point this out real quick. I suppose it just changed. But Velez had 2 queued up in every single barracks, whereas MBL, he has more barrackses. I don't know. A plural of barracks is just barracks, but he has more of these. And it was just queued up with 1. So also the production might be slightly faster. Because the units he has queued are always producing. And that actually might have made the difference right there. 31 military for MBL. That's higher than 22. And Velez at 15. Velez adding a market. Maybe feeling the need to sell for gold. Or maybe we'll use some gold to buy a castle. Which ideally goes on that hill. And then the game is won. Because MBL is going out there for gold now. In fact, MBL... now he still has plenty of gold, actually. But Velez feeling the heat right now with 100 villagers, fastest farmers in the game, free supplies, cheap scorpions, everything you would want. It feels like MBL has perfusion with this level of production. Perfusion, of course, an Imperial Age upgrade, which increases the infantry spam from the Goths, and that's what all the Lowy the Legends out there fear. But who needs perfusion? 26 military versus 6, and Velez has got to be thinking, oh no, 50 farmers. 50 farmers. MBL has 34. But MBL is just taking the better fights. And I like this because there's been benefit to not having perfect eco. To be completely honest with you. You know, like... to not queuing up bills all the time. He has 2 TCs. He's not doing it. No, he's like, it's more important for me to have the food in the middle of the map right now. But against Slavs, I don't know. Maybe it's your only way. Maybe you accept my eco is going to be worse anyways. Let's go Huang style and idle that town center. 36 military for MBL, and Velez has got to be sweating it now. Now, he'll see the score, and he will probably realize, because my score is still higher, it's because I have a large eco lead. Not really something you want to see, though, when you're getting out-popped in military, especially on Gold Rush. Because this will get to a point. I mean, if you don't have gold, you can't kill Longswordmen. Longswordmen shred Skirm, they shred Pike. Of course, if it goes to Champion, Champions are notorious for being the trash killers. So, Velez, his town center is going to go down pretty quickly. Velez with 140 pop, MBL with 100 pop. Town center is actually going to stay up to be repaired. What will Velez do from here? The panic is real. He'll place a castle, and you see the guy's face. You know what this could mean. If MBL is able to clear this, he probably wins the game. If he does not, I think Velez will be able to stabilize. He has 30 military there. MBL still, at least based on what I see here, has 40. Now he's at 30. Velez has gone down to 15. This castle at 60% with about 10 villagers building it, and MBL's focusing on every single villager. I think the average player's heartbeat would be beating a mile a minute right now if you're in Velez's shoes. I still remember back in the day when I first started playing the game, those desperation castles, how nervous you get, you know. I think you could argue you might even get more nervous in MBL's position. Like, am I doing it? Is this actually happening? That TC's down. MBL has 62 villagers with Goths. Again, this TC. Look! No villas coming out of the TCs. It's just full barracks production. There's no way that castle's going up. It doesn't seem like it anyway. And you look at Velez's gold income. What gold income? 150 gold remaining. He's adding more buildings. He actually is doing a great job at massing now. But MBL is a full 30 military ahead. Pretty soon we will have 100 longswords in the middle of the map, which is beautiful. That's something you see every day. And this is after the Wolf Rush, which is so freaking cool. I love how much variety Age of Empires has, and how good these players are, of course, to make the games entertaining. I think this game right here, as MBL takes this fight, 39 against, 33. He's got the hill, though. There's a Scorpion there. More units on the way. Velez at 24. MBL at 28. Velez out of gas. MBL doesn't have that much on gold. Of course, the 3 relics are bringing in gold. I also wish that one wish I'd have for Christmas this year is that Age of Empires 2DE would have a better end screen. The statistics really have not improved ever since this game came out. And there's so many... I mean, you guys know, if you watch Age of Empires content, just how much variety it has and how many small little details matter. It'd be so cool if you could see how much HP your monks healed or brought back to your units. You know, like, those monks have really helped MBL in those early engagements, I feel. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer that we don't have those statistics. I'm just really curious now if Velez can break this. He is doing a good job to producing. Still has the population lead. Still feels reasonable for him. Does have stone that I believe is being sold right now for gold. It was above 1,000 stone a moment ago. So some of that's probably being sold for resources that he desperately needs to get more resources in the middle. Update on MBL. He's still spamming out of most of his buildings. Of course, that queue's not perfect, but what's fascinating to me is he's still at 35 farms. 47 farms for Velez. See now, MBL. He knows, as long as his eco's untouched, he can justify taking a fight that he won't even win in this situation. It's Velez who needs to win a fight right now. If Velez does not win a fight right now, this gets significantly worse for him. Velez, that's an okay fight, but is that a victory? I don't think that that is a victory. 25 military versus 36. Look at the KD. It's crazy. And Velez has the stone to build a castle. Maybe could sell a little bit of that. But it's not getting any better for this Finnish beast who we've seen play so well this year. I'm sure the game plan was to win that fight, send villagers out, drop a castle in the middle, and then win. You know, you still have 100 villagers. If you win a fight to the point where you can build a castle in the middle, you probably win, but there will be no victory for Velez in this game. What an interesting game. Like, it really felt like that was a complete Civ win. It is a bit more expensive for Slavs to make their infantry, assuming my calculations were correct, which I believe they are. I actually prepped a little bit for this one, so I'd be sad if not. But yeah, it's a little bit more expensive for Slavs. However, their food income should be way higher, right? So, I don't know. Someone wants to break down how much extra food Velez had to pay for his 347 units that he lost. I suppose that would be... You know what? I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not going to do it. Whatever that amount comes out to is way below the extra food that he had. So, the point is, the extra food definitely was better for him. The gold, interestingly enough, seemed fine for him as well. The stone, everything here seemed fine. This looks like an even game. But this came down to, I think, Velez producing vills and just not being able to put them into enough farms and just not having the production, right? 117 vills for 64. Goths beating Slavs. This is ridiculous. Relics certainly paid off for MBL. And actually, if you wanted to get really nitty-gritty with the calculations, you could also argue that MBL needed fewer villagers because he had 3 relics that were bringing him gold. That combined with some of the other small things like the conversions and the healing made that a very interesting game. But NBL with slightly higher numbers in all the important situations, and I think it was, while it did not seem great in the first couple of engagements against those Scorpions, as he was quote unquote losing the fights, it was great recognition from him to realize if he gets to enough Scorpions, I have no chance. So I need to take these out as I'm reinforcing with more numbers. If this was a tournament, we would call this probably a mix of a throw and also an outstanding game, right? As I just stated, I don't think Velez, if you look at the massive eco difference he has here, he didn't play any of that completely wrong. It was just underestimating the amount of spam that NBL would be able to have. But it was great recognition from NBL, great win for him, and Velez, by his standards, he feels like he should have won this. Just didn't. But fortunately, it's just a rated game. So YouTube, I think I'm uploading this on the 15th or 16th of December, something like that. I don't know the exact date. As always, when I do these YouTube only casts, I really hope you enjoy. There's a lot going on right now. The 2v2 World Cup has been taking up a lot of my time. And if you've been watching it on YouTube, I would love to invite you guys to stop by. The live stream on the weekend is happening. All right. The semifinals, it's 2 best of 7. So probably will be an 8 to 10 hour day if they go to 7 games. Maybe not. I don't know, 6 to 8. And then the finals, also, we're going to have the third place match before the finals. Also, a very long day. Most of the people who watch on Twitch at one point watched on YouTube. And I know you guys can't make it to the live streams all the time. I know many of you guys can't or just don't like the live stream experience as much as YouTube. But big thing for me as a content creator and tournament host is that viewership's there. And it's been amazing so far. So I'm asking you guys and just making you guys aware that the semifinals, this will be Norway versus Spain. That will be starting at 15 GMT on Saturday the 19th. That's 10 a.m. Eastern for those who need to know that. That is followed by, or no, that is before. Wait, damn it. Oh, I need an editor. Okay, I'm sorry. It's actually Brazil versus China first. And then after that, it is Norway versus Spain. I'm sorry. But on the 19th, I would love to have you on the live stream, say you're new, all that good stuff. And then the finals will be the day after. More people that show up, the more Microsoft wants to say, you know what, this T90 guy is not doing a bad job. Let's put up more funds for more tournaments and make some awesome things happen. So yeah, I'd love to see you guys. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on this crazy game. And if you're watching this in the future, because this is a game that is probably a good one to reference in the future, the tournament should be in a playlist if you'd like to check it out. Also, special announcement after the finals on the 20th. All right, so guys, thank you for watching. I'm done blabbing my mouth. That's not really true. I have other videos to record, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you tomorrow with another upload and more Age of Empires 2 content.